Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to the live. I'm just waiting for it to pop up on things. I'm taking a look at it right now on my phone. Okay, perfect. It looks like it just popped up. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. This is the Kickback Cybersecurity chat, where it's pretty much just want to kind of catch up with everybody, kind of try to see what people are doing, what type of projects people are on, but kind of go over some different news and things that are happening within the industry and just overall cybersecurity and tech in general. So happy that you all are here. Happy that you all are here. I'm going to be taking a look at the chat. If you are here and if you can hear me, place a 1 in the chat. Place a 1 in the chat for me if you can hear. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm just checking my levels, trying to get everything good. Okay, I'm seeing some comments. Okay, I'm seeing some ones. Finally caught a live. Hello, the real one. Thank you for the 1. Professor Black Ops, as always, thank you for coming through. JM, thank you for the 1. Okay, we are good. Here, let me use a banner. Tell me what you all are doing, right? How's everybody doing? What's going on? I know today in Detroit is super duper hot, so it is very warm. I got a little towel, so I could, as I'm doing the stream, because I got all these lights here, so making sure that I don't perspirate in front of you all. So perspire is probably the better word. But what are you all doing? What's new with everybody? How's it going in the places where you all are? Drop a quick note. Seeing people are starting to come in. I guess you all are good because you probably are getting the delay. And that's one thing I got to kind of get more used to, because there's a slight bit of a delay between me talking and you all typing in the chat. See, there we go. So he says, I'm great, Bo. Happy to know that you're great. Happy to know things are going good with you. So there's a slight delay, but that's cool, right? So I kind of want to jump into a couple of different topics and, just kind of open it up at the end. So I'm going to probably hit maybe 1 or 2 different types of topics, things that I've been seeing around YouTube, things I've been seeing on Twitter, but all very much so cybersecurity and tech related. So I saw a website that I thought was pretty dope. So for those who don't know, so I am a cybersecurity consulting manager. And that pretty much means that I work with customers and so I work for a consulting firm where they send me out to pretty much work with customers and deal with their cybersecurity problems. So this might be in the form of doing some type of security assessment on their environment. They might give me architecture diagrams. They might give me their security engineering strategy and documentation and say, hey, help us be better from a security perspective. Give us better security hygiene, give us recommendations, all this type of stuff. So many times I'll come into a customer environment not really knowing what's going on or what's happening. So that's just a little bit of my background. But then a lot of times I look for different resources. Yeah, these are, JM. Yeah, these are Power Beats Pros. Yeah, man. These are kind of nice because you don't got to. So I got these here just to kind of veer off a little bit. I got these here and these are huge, right? So these are pretty large and these don't really look very good as I'm streaming, because it makes me look like I got extra ears on top of the big ears that I already got. So I don't use those. So the Power Beats are kind of nice because they allow me to still feel like I'm headphoneless. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, but yeah, these are Power Beat Pros. Pretty dope. So like I was saying, many times when I'm evaluating customer environments, I'm looking for different resources on the internet, looking for different resources everywhere in order to try to find things that will help me to better give them recommendations or to just keep me informed of what's kind of going on. So I found this. There's a website or a project called the ICS Strive. So maybe even a little bit more information about myself, a little bit specific about my background is that I work in industrial cybersecurity. So that ICS stands for Industrial Control Systems. So that means cybersecurity within electrical utilities, oil and gas environments, wind, transportation, rail. I mean, you name it. I kind of deal with those industrial environments for cybersecurity. So this ICS drive, or Industrial Control Systems Drive project, was pretty dope to me. And I want to share my screen. And I'm just getting used to things. So I want to share screen. And it says share. And I have a window that I want to share. Should I share a tab? I can share a tab. How about I share a tab? Okay. So this website, let me know if you all can see that. Let me know if you all can see that. Actually, I have another screen up here. Yeah. That's good. So as you see this website, it's called an ICS Drive. Let me minimize that. And like I said before, it stands for Industrial Control System, which is that industrial form of cybersecurity that I was telling you all about. But what this is that it's a very awesome repository of different incidents that have happened. First, it starts off by giving you some security news. Waterfall, very good organization for data diodes and unidirectional gateways. More to come on that later down the line, but don't want to get into it. But then the dope thing here is that this search incidents. So say, for instance, I have a customer, right? I told you I'm a consultant. So say, for instance, I have a customer and they're trying to figure out what are the current trends, what is the bad stuff that's been happening to organizations, things that they need to look out for so that they can be informed to take defensive actions to make sure that, hey, what happened to this organization doesn't happen to my organization. And I think this is super cool. So right now, I'm just going to highlight OT, which stands for Operational Technology. So here, you press search, and it starts to give you just a repository, a large repository of different incidents that have recently happened in operational technology environments. As you see, the ransomware attack on AGCO. So it kind of goes into some of that detail, but I'm looking for one specific. Yeah, I'm looking for this one. Okay. So what is this? No, that's the thing I don't like. They got that little thing there. So this is an incident that happened on a tire manufacturer organization, which is called Bridgestone. Like I'm sure you all are informed of Bridgestone Firestone. It was hit with a ransomware attack. So here, if you zoom in a little bit more, it talks about it, right? The largest tire manufacturer in the world, right? So Bridgestone Americas is working on a recovery after suffering a ransomware attack. The Lockbit, right? So that's a specific version of ransomware that hit their environment February 27th. And one thing that I think that's super cool is that I actually was one of the incident responders for this Bridgestone Firestone attack. My consulting firm, we have a retainer with Bridgestone Firestone, and it's public, right? It's public information out there. But we were the responders for this particular incident. And to kind of see it here within a repository, to kind of give people information about how to protect themselves against it is super cool. So ransomware attack. And for those who don't know what ransomware is a type of malware that when it gets into an environment, it typically acts as a worm. So it's kind of fishing around or moving around in a network. And it's looking for different systems, specifically file systems, to infect. Once it infects those file systems, it locks them up. That's the thing about ransomware, right? A ransom is when somebody takes a person or takes a thing and says, hey, you have to pay me this amount in order to get your thing back. Typically, it's like people, but in this case, it's sensitive and critical file systems. So Bridgestone Firestone, one of the largest tire manufacturing organization in the world, was hit with the Lockbit ransomware, which locked up a whole lot of their file systems and assets. And I think the thing that's even more interesting about this is that many times you might just think of them as files or things, but for industrial control system environments, when ransomware hits, it affects the operations, right? So so the major thing for Bridgestone is that it's manufacturing tires. But when a computer system is infected within a tire manufacturing facility, sometimes that can stop operations. So if tires are not being manufactured, then business and money is not being made by that organization, right? So it is a business disruptor. Ransomware and industrial control systems many times is a business disruptor. Like I said, this happened on February 27th. I remember responding with my other colleagues on this. And it wasn't just in the United States, but like I mentioned, Latin America and also in North America. So, but this is a repository, right? This ICS Drive, it kind of provides you that information when the incident happened, February 22nd or 27th, 2022, happened in the United States. The estimated cost, it was unknown. I'm not going to disclose that. The victim was, of course, Bridgestone, Firestone. The threat was locked. So this information is very important to people who want to defend themselves from similar things happening, right? So there probably are some indicators of compromise. There are some signatures. There are some things that can tune somebody's security defenses that can help them protect themselves against a Lockbit ransomware attack. So I thought this was pretty cool. I thought this was a pretty cool resource. So that is ICS Strive. Here, let me throw this in the chat, actually. Let me throw this ICS Strive right here within the chat. And you all can view this at your own time, at the time that you're interested, whenever. Or you can just bookmark it, right? It might be something that you might want to go back and try to understand, hey, what actually happened here? What actually happened there? Let's check out the chat before I move to something else. Let me check out the chat. So that's ICS Strive, which is super cool. Okay, I'm seeing some other comments. It says, do you deal directly with the customers or just with the IT staff? I deal directly. So I deal directly with the customers. So in the manager role, it can range from whether I'm talking to a CIO, a chief information officer, or a CISO, a chief information security officer, a CTO, chief technology officer, or it could be managers or senior managers, or at times it can be engineers or people who are process engineers or even IT staff, like you mentioned, like IT directors. So really it ranges from the individuals that I interact with. It's very broad, right? It's very broad about who I interact with from a customer perspective, but very much so customer facing, right? I don't have any problem. A lot of times I just jump on the call just like this, right? I might throw on my camera or something and we'll have a conversation. So yeah, so JM, that's kind of who I deal with, kind of a little bit of everybody within the organization. And it also depends on the service, right? So if I'm dealing with people at a plant environment, I might be dealing with a plant manager. I might be dealing with an engineering manager, somebody who is typically in charge of what we call a POC, a point of contact for that engagement, because they're bringing us in to perform some type of service, get some type of some type of consulting, help them out with whatever their cybersecurity pain points are. So yeah, that's that one. Salute. Hey, what's good, Helmet Chili? Hello, 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 hello. Real one. You said, I've seen business being cheap and not investing in most later IPS. What do you mean by IPS? Internet or ISP and or intrusion protection systems? Is that what you're talking about? So yeah, intrusion protection systems are interesting, right? A lot of organizations, they typically go with like a vendor that does intrusion protection systems, because so there's some different flavors of like detecting different things that are happening in environments. So you mentioned intrusion protection systems, right? Those typically have some capabilities to stop something from happening. It might isolate a device or might change some rules to not allow that code to execute on different devices. Yeah, that's cool. But a lot of times organizations want to go with intrusion detection systems because at times there can be false positives, right? So sometimes the intrusion protection system could be configured incorrectly to the point where it stops something. It can, like, I don't know, take down the DNS server, right? A domain name system or a domain name system server, which pretty much controls the ability for organizations or enterprise organizations many times to talk to the internet. So what happens is that a lot of times IPSs are placed closer to those critical systems or critical assets, and those intrusion detection systems, maybe in the form of like a Splunk or a McAfee. Those are typically the ones that many organizations tend to go with. So yeah. But yeah, a lot of times they don't invest in those IPSs because it can be costly, right? Because sometimes an IPS or an IDS can be something that is can be a heavy cost for certain organizations, and it depends on what your business is, right? If you're a financial organization, say for instance you're like JP Morgan or something, you can't not go with an expensive solution to defend your environment. It almost becomes a necessity. But think about if you're like a public school system or a public school building. Do you really need an intrusion protection system within your school network? Maybe, maybe not. It depends. So let me not run away with that idea. But yeah, great comment. A lot of organizations don't invest a lot of times in those cybersecurity things, those needed cybersecurity things. I see JM, you threw something else in there. It says, I noticed a lot of ICS are vulnerable. Some of them still use Telnet and no password. Is it because the IT staff that these companies hire is not experienced? No. So it's not all. So that's not always the case, right? So, where do I start, man? This is a whole conversation within itself. So within industrial environments, let me just hit on this one, and then I'm going to back away from it because I don't want to make this whole live stream about it. But what happens is that with industrial control systems, there are many antiquated operating systems. When I say antiquated, I'm talking about old stuff. So like the current version of Windows is probably what, like Windows 11. What is the current server version? What, Windows, I don't know, Server 2019, 20 or something, 2022. I don't know the exact version, but I do know that in industrial control system environments, they have old versions, very old versions. So you're talking about Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows NT, Windows Server 2008 R2. These are operating systems that are no longer supported by Microsoft. Microsoft no longer supports those. And the reason why they're still running in the environment is why? Guess why? You don't have to guess. I'll answer. The reason why they're still running in the environment because they directly align with the older equipment there. So one thing that's very common in electrical generation environments is that of a turbine or a turbine, right? And turbines pretty much, they're a spinning device in generation plants that change motive energy or that movement of that energy into electrical energy, to make it simple, right? So it's something to help generate electricity or move electricity. These turbines a lot of time can be in environments for 20, maybe even 30 years. So the software and the hardware that's there to control that device needs to align with the operating system. So when that thing was installed, Windows XP was probably a brand new thing out. So the fact that that turbine is still in service means that that software needs to still be able to align with those older operating systems. Does this make sense? It needs to be an old to old alignment with technology within OT or ICS. So that's one of the reasons why you get these Telnet, right? Because Telnet is an older protocol. It's a lot of times replaced by other more secure versions of accessing systems. But Telnet a lot of times comes with those older devices, those older systems, those older Cisco switches, those older routers, right? So I wouldn't say that the people are inexperienced, but I would say it's something that is very common to the environment. So I'll just hit it from that, and then we can keep on moving on because I'll go on and on and on. But keep bringing those questions. That was a very good question. So yeah, Helmet Chili, that's a very good resource to have, right? It tells you about hacks and things that have happened, and organizations love it, right? You're doing your, like, at least as a consultant, I'm doing my own research. I'm doing my due diligence to understand what's happening in the environment. So I'm able to provide them real time recommendations for what they need to do to protect theirs. And they love it. They love it. Because a lot of times they're focused on the business. They're focused on doing whatever business they do with their financial organization or industrial organization. They're focusing on the business rather, and I'm helping them with the cybersecurity stuff is the way that I like it. Yeah. Oh man, Helmet Chill, you come in with the questions. Let's see. Are sites like VirusTotal reliable when checking for malware? Yeah, VirusTotal is very reliable. It's reliable to a fault at times. So for those who know about, here, let me just jump over to VirusTotal. Let's see. VirusTotal. I'll pull that up for you all. That's what I'm about to do. And I'm going to get to everybody's questions, so please hold tight. How do I? Okay, I'll stop that screen, and then I can share a different screen. Window. Okay. Oh, a Chrome tab. That's what it is. VirusTotal. Boom, right? So this is VirusTotal. So VirusTotal, as it says here, hopefully it pops up for you. Boom. I see it just popped up. It says analyze. So VirusTotal is something that people can use to do like static or what is it called? What type of analysis is it called? This is more I forget the term that is called for this type of malware analysis, but it's like more high level malware analysis where you can upload a file, like it says here, that might be considered malicious or it might not be, but you can upload this and the VirusTotal will run this through several engines within this website in order to evaluate to say whether it's vulnerable or not. You can upload a URL. So this is like, so in cyber, so for people who are hackers or bad hackers, they typically have an infrastructure called a C2 infrastructure or command and control. And really what it is that organizations, these hacking or bad organizations or groups, they have typically some type of server or some type of host that exists somewhere on the internet, and it has an IP address. And then they want the systems that they've hacked, those systems are beaconing out or talking back to wherever those bad guys are on the internet. So here you can put what you might suspect are those malicious IP addresses, and then VirusTotal will be able to do some type of analysis and be able to tell you whether they might be vulnerable or not, and then search. So yeah, VirusTotal is very much so up to date. I kind of want to do a little, I don't have anything prepared, so I don't want to waste you all's time, but yeah, VirusTotal is still up to date. But I do have a story for you all as it concerns VirusTotal. One thing that's valuable for VirusTotal is not only defenders and people who are like incident responders, but also bad guys at times use VirusTotal. There is a way to search VirusTotal for the most recent upload. So say for instance, you uploaded a group of hash files to try to understand if somebody had been hacked or not, or if your systems had been hacked or not. VirusTotal has a search feature where you can see what the recent uploads are. So bad guys can understand, like, hey, have the systems that I hacked into detected that I was there, and they can use VirusTotal as a way to find that out. So yeah, so that's that on VirusTotal, but more to come. I think we can probably have a whole live stream on that. Man, Helm, you come with the question. It says rather than the percentage of the percent reliability when using such sites, you're saying what's the percentage of I mean, it's real time, man. It's real time. So like I said, it's a search feature. You can see when things are uploaded. You can see when things are vulnerable. So it's pretty reliable in my opinion. Yeah. The real one, intrusion prevention system. Yep, that's exactly what you were talking about. Salute, brother Michael. Salute, brother. Helmet. Salute. Everybody saying their salutations. The real one says the fail-safe of IPS is to down the whole system down, even if critical business is being done. See, and that's the thing, right? What is critical business? Because it depends on the organization. So critical business for a banking organization might be their publicly facing website, which allows their customers to make payments or to do banking virtually. So that might be their critical business. So their website might be the thing. But when you're talking about an industrial system, so I used to work in a nuclear plant. So the thing that's probably the most important in a nuclear plant, it's not necessarily just the reactor, but it's the ability for that organization to cool the reactor. So they have these recirculation pumps that pumps water into the reactor core to make sure that it stays cool to the point where there's not any type of unintended release of nuclear waste or anything into the atmosphere causing destruction for people. So so that's their critical business. The critical business is to keep the lights on by generating electricity, but it's also critical that that's done in a safe manner. So you don't want to be generating electricity while everybody is getting radiation poisoning. So yeah, so it just depends on the organization and what type of critical business there is. Oh man, John, what's up, John? We have an interview coming up here. Here, I might even just pull that up really quickly. Let me tell you about me and John are collaborating on an interview coming up. Let me see if I can find that. But John, it is very good to see you. Thank you for being here. I think I just reshared it. Yeah, there it is. Here, let me go straight to that. And I'm going to put the link in the chat too for you all to maybe bookmark and come back to it. Let me share this, share screen. And I'm still getting used to everything. So, please bear with me. This is what I want to share with you all. So we have an interview coming up. It says Struggle Security, and John He has a great cybersecurity channel here. Actually, let me drop his link for his channel here. He's got an interview coming up with my good buddy Kev Tech, but he does a whole lot of information. He's been doing it for years. This is one of the vets for YouTube cybersecurity content creation. And he has a interview coming up with me, and we have that coming up on June 20th. So here, let me throw John's link in the chat. Let's see, John's channel. Boom. Let's see. And please subscribe, check him out. But we do have an interview coming up pretty soon. So thank you, John, for coming through. But yeah, I won't give away all the secrets. I'll leave some of the conversation for when we have our interview. I'll make sure to do that. I'll make sure to do that, John. So good advice. Good advice there. Henri, what's good, man? Yeah, salute, man. Salute, man. Henri, listen. Hey, let's just make this just a channel sharing. Listen, a channel sharing or cybersecurity resource YouTube channel sharing stream. All right, we're doing the cybersecurity and chill. Henri has a great cybersecurity channel as well. I'm gonna put his sexual chatter. I'm gonna put his link here. Please check it out. Subscribe. Check it out. He has great content over there. He also did an interview with me a couple of months back. Great information, but good. Salute, and welcome. He says pin a link to the chat. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. So we just talked about the ICS Strive. Oh, okay. Let's see. I see that, but how do I pin it to the chat? Maybe I'll drop the link and people can help me out. But I'll learn how to pin stuff to the chat. I promise. I'm learning. I'm flying this thing as it's going. Okay. What's good? Kev Tech is in the building. Kev Tech. Oh my gosh. Listen, I'm gonna be sharing. Hold up 1 second. First, I want to share Textual Chatters channel real quick for you all. Boom. Okay, I want you all to go over there and subscribe, check out his information. And that's actually one of the discussions that I want to have today, because he spoke about imposter syndrome in cybersecurity, and that he was actually doing a reaction to somebody else's, to another great cybersecurity YouTube channel. But this is his channel. He hits on a good amount of this information. Like I said, combating imposter syndrome. That's actually one of the discussion topics I have for today. But he does interviews with all types of tech professionals. Please check his channel out. Subscribe. And then I'm going to hit Kev Tech, right? I'm going to hit Kev Tech channel right now. Kev Tech is great. You all have you all probably know about Kev Tech's channel already. He did an interview with me 10 days ago, looks like, but he has great information about tech. A lot of times for help desk, right? Because Kev really believes in those foundations. You all have to focus in on those foundations before you start to want to do a lot of the advanced topics. So he has a Discord. I mean, just check out his channel. Plenty of great information he has to share over there. So I think I did all my, oh my gosh. Ciova, man. Ciova, what's good, man? I gotta I'm running out of things. It's so many great content creators within this chat, and I thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. I want to share everybody's, but I also want to get to this to some more of the content here. Oh, okay, Kev, you said yes, pinned it. Okay, perfect. But yeah, okay, we're gonna keep moving here. John, what's good? Helmet Chili, Professor Black Ops is here again. You all probably know Professor Black Ops. You've been there. You know, everybody's showing up. Exactly. Yep. Professor Black Ops. Listen, I need to. All right. Okay. I need to make people moderators. Listen, you all are great, and I want you all to be able to pin stuff and do all these things. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds because I want to get this right. Okay. Kev Tech, you are a moderator. Helmet, you're a moderator. Henri, you're a moderator. Who else is in here? John, You're a moderator. Whoever, let's see, who else is not a moderator that are goats? Okay. I think I got all the mods up. I think I got all the mods here. I do want to hit on another topic, right? So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming through. I want to hit on another topic. But I am. So I talked about ICS Drive. How long have I been on? I've been on for about 30 minutes. You know what? I kind of want to drop the link, and I kind of just want to open it up for people to talk about this. So I want the discussion topic to be the imposter syndrome in cybersecurity. And if you all have experienced it, what has been your experience with it? I mean, I don't think we necessarily have to go into so many like basic definitions of it, but I do want to understand your experiences. And I think that this is really good information because it's something that allows people who might be newer to the field to be able to kind of understand what that looks like for them if they're experiencing that, or even if us experienced people are newer. I got a couple of stories that we can share, but here, let me go ahead and drop the link. Let's see how to do that. I think I could do share. No, I think I could just pull it directly from the web browser. I'm gonna drop the link, and I'm seeing more people trickling in. Welcome. If you are coming here, I'm gonna post it a couple of different times. Boom. So if you are interested in hitting on the topic, telling about maybe what your imposter syndrome has been within cybersecurity or tech in general, come through and we can have some discussion about it. But as people are clicking the link now, I want to kind of tell about one of mine. Okay, so probably one of my first engagements as a cybersecurity consultant was, well, my first solo engagement, because previous to that, they wouldn't send me out by myself because I didn't have a lot of experience in kind of doing certain services. Specifically, this one was a pen test, an internal penetration test. So the way that this is kind of structured is that the organization is, so this was a utility organization, and they hit my organization up, and they asked us to do an internal penetration test, and this was a utilities organization. And the whole goal was for me, or for our organization, was to find vulnerabilities in the system. What's good, Professor Black Ops? Hey, let me bring you in. Yay. What's good, man?
I can't complain. Oh, God, stand up a little too late, man.
Oh, perfect. Listen, I ain't gonna be on for long, man. I ain't gonna be on forever. So, we can all get some good sleep. Y'all can get some good sleep. So, yeah, I was telling about the story where I was experiencing imposter syndrome. Okay. So I'm doing an internal pen test. It's this utility organization, and we were kind of a bit short-staffed on individuals that we could send out. So I ended up going by myself. Talk about imposter syndrome, right? Because I never performed like an individual penetration test by myself. But the organization I was a part of, right, I was working for Mandiant, right? So Mandiant is well known for their red team and their incident response. They're really well known for their cybersecurity services. It wasn't that I was bad or anything, or I couldn't do the job. It's that it was my first time doing it by myself. And I'm like, I don't think that I have the capability to do this. And it was always like on the internal red team test, it was always like race to DA or race to the domain admin credentials. So it's like you needed to get like the highest level of credentials in the environment. And that was considered like, you're elite, like you're one of us now type of thing. It could be very competitive in certain places, right? So I was kind of feeling, I was feeling the pressure. I was feeling the pressure. So I pretty much arrived on site. I was on time, sweating, right? And it was literally me. Let me tell you, it was me, the customer, and the computer. That was it.
Wow.
That was it. It was me, the customer, and the computer. And they said, this is the machine where we'll give you some certain level of privileges and then go, right? So, I mean, I'm sweating because I'm typing around, right? I'm downloading my Kali instance. I'm up here installing the tools that I typically use. I'm starting to do some initial reconnaissance. I'm capturing packet captures and everything, looking at my Wireshark. I'm trying to do like a mapping because I'm trying to understand where I'm at. But, I'm doing the thing, but at the same time, I'm feeling like I can't do the thing, right? And I think that that's the goofy thing about imposter syndrome is because you still feel like you can't do it while you're doing it. And that was my major thing, right? I'm doing the thing, I'm making it happen, I'm finding vulnerabilities, I'm doing what I have to do, but at the same time, I'm feeling like I shouldn't be here or I can't do this, right? And I think that the biggest thing that's important is that people reach out to others to kind of give like a sanity check, right? So we had like an internal teams, right? Everybody can kind of talk,
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to kind of lean on coworkers or lean on your manager or lean on other people within the industry to like kind of do like a little sanity check, saying, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, Am I leaving out anything? What do you think? And that really helped me out when I started reaching out to some coworkers, and they were like, listen, you're doing more than I would have done. So it's like I had this idea that I wasn't doing enough, but other people could show me or tell me like, yo, you're doing more than what the normal thing is to do. You're doing great. So, that really helped in the process. I kind of relaxed, right? I kept on doing my thing and was successful, right? I didn't get DA, but I got like the son of a domain admin. So like the second level of privilege, highest level of privileges in the environment. So, I consider that a win.
Oh,
so,
that's killing.
Yeah, man. So I was able to transfer from. So the whole goal was to go from IT, where the like the enterprise environment, where like all the the servers and the workstations were, into the OT environment. So I had to bypass and firewall. I had to do a lot of fun stuff. So it was pretty cool. But that was one of my experiences with imposter syndrome, man. So what you got on it, Professor Blackhouse? What you think? Comments, questions, comments, concerns.
I was surprised because, like you, on my channel, I was getting a lot of people talking about imposter syndrome. I knew what it was. I was just surprised how many people experienced it.
Yeah.
I kind of experienced, but I'm kind of a little crazy. So before I went to DOD, right, I was kind of like, am I good enough? This Lockheed Martin's there, Oracle's there, all this stuff. So am I good enough? So I really was labbing and practicing. So when I got there, then once I worked for a while, I'm like, dude, I'm better than like 80% of those people. But before I got there, I'm like, okay, can I hang? Can I get with these guys? And I think that's what a lot of people, like you said, textual chatter, caretaker, we've been in this game. And I tell people, it's just your normal curve. If you're decent, you're going to be in the top half. 10% you ain't going to touch. The rest of the people, you're going to be able to hang with if you work on your craft, lab every day, really work on it. So don't have.
So what was that breaking point? Like what was that point where you realized that, like I'm supposed to be here? Like I'm not like.
Well, my boss is crazy. I'm going to interview him. So in the old days, you had to go to the board and at a high level, talk about how you were going to program it, what functions you're going to use. That's before I got into cybersecurity, and how you were going to do it. And people were writing stuff on the board, and I'm thinking, dude, that's wrong. That ain't going to never work. And these dudes had PhDs. I said, that's functionally going to work, but our window is, and these windows, I got to get 1 billion rows into a pay file in 4 hours before the backup runs. What you just put on the board can't do that, and I know that. So then when people start validating, and they said, well, how'd you do it? So I wrote up there, they go, and people said, oh, that's a novel attack. I go, I know, because I'm good, right? So then people start ghosting. So then once you get in there, and I just start telling people, man. Then two is, that's one thing I think the manosphere and us help is, when you're around old guys and we can show you stuff that we know work, like you said, that you got this level and I know I can do this. But we've been there. I promise you can hang with most of these guys, man.
Yeah.
Like you said,
so it's like,
that's the elite. So what you think, the top 10% you can't touch, everybody else you okay with?
And that's the thing, right? I think one thing about imposter syndrome is that it's not real. Right. It's like it's not something that's real. And kind of from what you just told about, like going from you said you went from one agency to another agency, and you were thinking that, hey, I don't know if I could hang. You literally did it. Like you went in there and you expressed or you played out your skill set in front of others, right? And I think that that's one thing that a lot of people need. Sometimes, a lot of times, right, when we are having that experience, when we feel like imposters, we just got to get out there and just kind of put our heads down and kind of do our best, right? I think your best is enough. So doing your best to express your skill set, because that sounded like that was one of your breakthroughs. And that was one of mine too. Like I just went in there and was just doing it. And that was one thing that really helped me to alleviate, like shed off that imposter. Right.
See, I was picking on you the other day. Remember, I was like, Gabe, chime in on this one guy, because I think a lot of times people wanted to help. So I think I'll teach you, like, I ain't never done that. So I just tell try to talk to people. I say,
yeah,
dude, reach out to me. If not, I'm gonna hook you up with somebody.
right.
So I think half the battle is, like you said, now you're doing that right. Or talk to this guy. I could get you some skills, or you can talk to what you're trying to do, right? Because I think a lot of times is I'm old before there was Google. So when you on a project, you would by yourself. If I got a Linux problem, I'm gonna reach out to Keep It Techie. Hey, is this the right thing? What's going on? If I'm doing Skater, I'm reaching out to you. You know, we talked. I saw something look nice. I sent it to you. I said, okay, Skater.
Man. I applied for that. Oh, actually, I gotta see how that thing is doing. I gotta see how it's doing. I gotta log into my.
I know if I wanted to announce that, so that's why I was talking around.
No, good, man. Oh, it's absolutely fine.
Long story short, I'll be looking at something. I saw something. I'm gonna put the number. I think one of us $300 an hour. I was like, oh, that's what my man Gabe do. I'm gonna shoot it to him on LinkedIn. I ain't trying to be greedy. I'm already fat. I need to lose a little weight. Like, let me Gabe eat a little bit on this and see if he can do it.
Absolutely. And
so I think that's half the battle too, is just putting it out there. Like, you're not alone. You're not the only one pops. Right. I tell people, I be putting we gonna help you. Yeah. It's something I can help in compliance or my specialty. Reach out. And this is old term. My Rolodex is deep. A lot of people don't even know what a Rolodex is. But my Rolodex is deep.
I think I've seen them somewhere. I think I seen a Rolodex. Yeah. I think I saw it in a museum somewhere.
Yeah, Kev Tech just sent me a young lady. I'm setting up with her, and he set me up with somebody Splunk. I hooked her up with a Splunk engineer, and I think she got some training credits out. So if I can help you and hook you up with some people, I'm old. I know a lot of people. So
so reaching out to others seems like one of those other imposter syndrome killers, right? Reaching out to other individuals where, because the thing about it is that there are, like, we're not going to know everything, right? Facts, so if you feel like you're an imposter for not knowing something, I think that's a unreal expectation. Like, you don't need to put that expectation to know everything on yourself, because you'll always feel like you're inadequate. Because I mean, the more and more I work, the more and more I understand. The higher I go, the more I understand what I don't know. I think that's the major thing. So, but I don't feel like, and that's the thing. Like, just because I don't know it, doesn't mean that I won't know it, or doesn't mean that I don't know somebody who does know it, if that makes sense. Even if I don't know it, I can go to somebody who probably does know it. Just like you were saying, right? Going to Keep It Techie for database, SQL type of information. So, going to resources and individuals who know what's up. So, man.
And it's all time too. It's like, I started doing AWS. I was like, I need some certs. I'm going to be looking for a job in a minute, I think. So I got a bunch of certs. So people ask me, I'm like, dude, I've been doing this for 30 years.
Right.
AWS is big on queues. I've been doing Oracle queues since 2005. It's not a new technique. It's new. I got to figure out how AWS works. But I'm like, dude, I've been doing queues since 2005. That's not a new technique, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times you can take what you learned in the past, like we said, fundamentals. It stacks on each other. So everything I learned in AWS, I'm like, dude, I've done most of this my entire life. They just named it something.
Right.
Different. Or doing it a little different, right?
I do want to do a couple of shout outs in the chat. I noticed my brother Wrench Turner. What's good, Wrench? Welcome to the chat, man. I see that Kamar Brown says, recently found your channel. I appreciate your content. I appreciate you for finding it and checking out the content for sure. You introduced me to the possibility of working two IT jobs. I never knew that was a thing. It is a thing, right? Now, I'm not saying I heavily recommend. I'm not saying I'm not necessarily heavily recommending it, but it is a thing, right? It's and a lot of times I think, right, because it's that overemployment, right? That overemployment thing, right? Having two remote tech jobs, I think it's doable. I think it's fine, right? It's just managing what that looks like in your life, because you do want to work, you do want to make a lot of money, you do want to maximize your earning potential for your skills, but at the same time, you don't want to burn out and feel like you are giving half of yourself to everything. So yeah, man, I'm happy that you found that, but yeah, man. Thanks for coming through. Absolutely.
I just didn't know it was a term for that. I've been doing that for a decade. I just never knew there was a term for that.
That Reddit tell you everything, man. I feel like everything starts on two places. Everything starts on like Twitter, or everything starts on Reddit. Anything on the internet, it starts on those.
I'm old, man. I ain't trying to get dragged on Twitter. I call it the Twitter like I'm old. I ain't mess with the Twitter.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do like scrolling on Twitter safely. Like I could do like one of those, like we look at certain tweets and we see what are some of those implications of them. But yeah, that might be something. So Colin 5, he says, are the penetration tests done in the cloud? There are some penetration done in the cloud. Typically, there can be like remote penetration tests, and typically it's handled in a couple of different ways. And I've done them, especially as COVID has come about. All these customers wanted remote pen tests. So, it a lot of times functions just as a regular pen test, except you're coming over a VPN connection. So many times, what I like to do is to have a customer spin up like a hypervisor, like a virtual box or ESXi server or something, and they give me direct VPN access to a particular host. And then that host, right, that jump host, quote unquote, has the privileges that you want me to have as I perform my tests. Because a lot of times what happens is that we test a lot of times from an assumed breach. So we're assuming that the bad guy's already in there. So typically a VPN connection, or it could also be through some type of cloud instance that has access to the systems that you're looking for vulnerabilities in. So just a little bit there, man. Yep.
Let me chime in on that.
Absolutely.
Number one is I used to work at DOD. Somebody else said in there, we actually have people sit in the conference room, like Gabe said. We give them a low-level account, then we can see, can they privilege escalate? Can they go east and west, right? Or are they going to attack the Active Directory, a printer, our Oracle database that we had too many privileges on a cron job one time. So that happens. And the other part of that, was he actually talking about attacking from the cloud or actually attacking the cloud? Because I've done a pen test in the cloud where they did they were checking our services, making sure, like Gabe, that they can't get into our EC2, or we were actually running single sign-on in the cloud, and we were running roles. So we were actually pen testing in our cloud region to see if people can attack. So I've actually seen people actually done that before too.
Yeah, I think it can be done in the cloud too. A lot of times, if you're doing a pen test or a red team engagement on a cloud instance, you have to get permission from those cloud vendors. Like you got to get permission from GCP or AWS or Azure, because you can't mess with their infrastructure.
Well, that's not true. I actually just took the test. Really? There's 12 services AWS that you can attack without their permission. As long as you're not messing with their DNS, it was like 3. As long as you don't mess with their DNS, it was like 4 things that were definitely off. But there was 12. Like if you inside my EC2, you on my private subnet, because you're not going to affect anything else. So it was weird, because at first I just saw it, but they got 12 things. You don't even have to ask.
So there's permission. 12 things that you can attack, but
without
the other
permission.
Ones, you have to get permission. Okay, I didn't know that. Definitely put me up on game. Definitely.
I'll shoot that to you. I actually just got AWS developer certified.
Nice.
I just passed out.
But the thing is that when you're doing a pen test like virtually or remote, the only negative thing about that, if you don't have direct access to a host, or if you're not like penetration testing from that host, is that a lot of times you aren't able to perform a lot of those layer 2, like those OSI layer 2 attacks. So that can be something that's a drawback. That's why a lot of times I say, hey, give me access, just give me a host. Act like this machine has been compromised and let me rock from there, rather than me trying to, navigate all the stuff remotely just with a regular network. Because NAC, your network, network access control, if you get in there, that thing will fire off if you're just coming in remotely, right? So it'll stop you from doing anything.
So what we did is we did it in stages. Like we wouldn't give you anything. Then after the first week, if you didn't get anything, then we give you like a user and a host. Then we just kind of worked our way up. Then, if you didn't get in the third week, we're gonna give you like a privileged user. We're gonna give you a domain user or Active Directory user or Oracle DBA user, because so we want to see with each level how much damage you can do. Right.
Awesome. Absolutely. Here, I'm gonna drop the link a couple of more times. I see my brother Keep It Techie just popped up. What's good, Josh? What's good, Keep It Techie? What's up, man? I'm seeing some others. Let's see. Hit a couple of other questions, and then we can keep on talking about this. Thanks, Professor Black Ops. See, giving a game. I saw somebody else talk about DOD. Now, okay, this brother is was that Information System Security Officer? Is that what that stands for?
Yeah, for us though, I usually call them CISOs. They usually don't have direct reports. Like my friend's the ISO, she has contractors and vendors. She just doesn't have any direct reports.
Okay, so typically direct reports are ISSMs, right? So information
or CISOs,
or CISOs. Gotcha. Gotcha. Said the best advice to successfully pass the GX. Oh man,
I don't got that. That's your. I don't got none of that.
Listen, time and studying, and time and studying and studying and timing and labbing. That's pretty much. It's really There is a blog actually. It's by
Love
a
it.
young lady. I think her name is Hacking Pancakes on Twitter. She works. Let's see,
Those are big
Hacking
boy search.
Pancakes.
Yeah, them
Yeah,
are big boy
man.
search, man.
Hacking Pancakes. Let me just do Twitter. Or no, Sans GX. Because I think she has a very good guide that a lot of people go on better GX testing. Yeah, I think this is it. This is it. So her website, and I visited her website. So this is for you, EA Fletch. I'm gonna put GX certs help. I just threw that there in the chat for you. And that is a very good blog site where she kind of goes over the process that she does to prepare. She has a whole bunch of these Sans GX certs. I have a good amount myself, but I don't recommend my method because my method is just boom, 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 boom. Right? I'm studying for maybe 3 months straight for a Sans cert. I think you can do it in less time. I think you can do it
No.
in less time, but I'm very slow and methodical. I'm taking notes and everything. And for those who don't know about the GX certs, they're put out by this organization called SANS, right? So they put out these certifications, which they're very expensive. So each one, I
Nice.
guess, in total, including the training and the books and the certification attempt, is somewhere around $8,000 plus or so per certification. So the exam is open book, so you can use the materials that they've given you, but you have to have your notes. So and the exams are pretty difficult. So a lot of them are like scenario based questions where you kind of have to, where you really have to know the concept in order to answer the correct answer. And I actually just passed one a couple of weeks ago, the grid, so the GIAC response and industrial defender certification, and it was a doozy. It was definitely a doozy, but that website, that blog post can give you more information about how to pass those certs. Yeah. You got anything to throw on that?
Nah, I try to stay away from
No.
G. I'm just trying to get a
You
couple
said that?
AWS. Then I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to get the CISP. I tried like 15 years ago. I missed it by 6 questions. I should have took it again. So,
Absolutely. Okay, Kev Tech, appreciate it. Gonna reference people towards us. Facts, Gabe's great channel. I appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the
I
feedback.
think the thing you put on there is you got to lab
Yeah.
because even if you pass the test, sometimes you got to be able to do it in real life and be
Right.
able to do the fundamentals.
Absolutely, no question.
So shout
So
out to
what's up,
Dewan.
Gabe? Yep. Shout out to
Got
Dewan.
lab every day.
Absolutely. Oh man, EA Fletch said he with it. He said I get 2 weeks each. Oh wow, for GSEC, GCIH, and GCD. So GSEC was the first SAN certification that I took, and I did not pass the GSEC the first time I took it. So that one was pretty difficult. I do have the GCIH. That one was very aligned with a lot of the work that I was already doing. So that was a little bit better for me. And the GSEC, I don't have that one. So you must be in the EA Flesh, you must be in the they have like what's that called? Like an academy. So you must be in the academy because those are like the foundational ones they give for SANS for that academy. So yeah, man. But I'm telling you, her website very, very helpful for passing those certs. John says I always tell people to take extra time to make a good index so you can easily find things on the exam and if you need to go back later. Absolutely. Like there's people who have their indexes online. So the index is literally like the concept, the page number, the book color, and maybe a note or so that you have. So you can easily find the information because they don't give a table of contents or anything. They give a small glossary at the end of the book, like at the last book. But yeah, the index is the lifesaver for those GX certs. So I'm right there with
So is
John
it mostly
sure.
SCADA stuff from the GSEC, or was that more?
So no. So GSEC is let me see, what does GSEC stand for?
I've heard of it. I'm just not on that stuff. I've done so much blue team and other stuff. I just never got on that side.
Well, GSEC is kind of like the security fundamentals. So it stands for GAC Security Essentials. So it literally covers like everything. Here, I can even pull that up, right? Because we're having some conversation on it. Why not? I got the link or the thing right here. Let me do the Chrome tab and boom. Let me know if you can see that. Let me share that out. Can you see this?
I can.
Okay, I think it's up. Oh, here, and let me minimize the comment so that you all can really see the website. And okay, so if you see here, so this is the GSEC exam, right? It's by GX. I don't even know the combination between SANS. They're all the same to me. SANS, GX. I don't know. There's probably some distinction that I don't know, but anyway. So this certification is the GX Security Essentials, and it says that validates the practitioner's knowledge of information security beyond simple and concepts, whatever. One thing that I go straight to is what is the syllabus? Like, what do they talk about? So these are literally all the concepts that they cover. So access control and password, AWS fundamentals, container macOS security, cryptography, cryptography algorithms. Oh my gosh, data loss and prevention, defense in depth, architecture, endpoint enforcing, incident handle. Listen, this is a beefy exam. All right, you're literally going over all the security foundations. Right, you're doing network, you're doing incident response, endpoint security, Linux security. I mean, there's so much on this exam.
Oh wow!
Like, I don't even think this exam is fair. And do you know how long this exam is? I'll tell you. This exam is 4 to 5 hours.
Oh wow, that's like taking the CISP.
Easily.
Security Plus is a way lighter than that. So
man, this is one exam, 106 to 180 questions, 4 to 5 hours. You need at least a 73%. So that's the GSEC, and I failed that the first time I took it. Right? Talk about imposter syndrome. I didn't think I could take another cert, and I never thought that I was going to pass a GX exam. And actually, I have 5 now. So talk about it, right? It's sometimes you might fail initially, but if you just keep at it, then I think that it's very possible for you to move past any of those issues. That was one of my struggles, right? Struggle security. That was one of my struggles, is passing the GSEC. Or any of those
what industry usually asks for this cert? Because
all of them.
Okay.
All of it, like worldwide. Like, so even if I go on like LinkedIn and I type in GX, let me see if I type in GX and what comes up. I mean, I'm looking at more than 6,000 jobs that reference GX. Let me see about SANS. It references SANS cert. Yeah, 4,000, 5,000 job postings that have them within their postings. So they're very popular certifications. And even on the DoD list, there are some SANS GX certifications on there, on the 8570. So yeah, man.
I was looking, there was no AWS certs on it. I was like, man, I might need to go ahead and get my Security Plus back validated if I'm gonna go back to DoD.
See, there we go. John said GSEC is on the DoD 8570 and 8140 and even more. Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I might go back to DoD. So
yes.
You bet your favorite thing, get back on them stigs.
Listen, I'll never do a stig ever again in my life.
Shout out to the stigs, man. I'm
not doing these stigs. Do y'all know what stigs are?
They don't know what that is, man. You got the dude from DoD get them stigs in there, man. Shout out to old school, man.
Listen, let me go to the stigs. Let me go to the stigs. Listen, this is something we just flowing here. Listen, we just flowing. Let's jump into what stigs are. I'm just gonna show you briefly, and then I'm gonna delete my history from my computer because I hated doing these, right? So STIGs stand for Security Technical Implementation Guides, right? Nice. So those are what STIGs are. You got more information on that before we go into some of what these are?
You in the right spot. That's all I got.
This is the worst spot, right?
That's so the right spot, man.
Cyber Exchange. So this is pretty much so STIGs are pretty much the hardening standards for assets, devices that are being deployed within DoD environments and systems. Hopefully that makes sense. So,
I got to jump in real quick. I'm jumping in real quick.
Feel free.
Gage got to put some respect on the STIGs now. Like I said, they're hardening. For me, I think they're one of the most intrusive. I'm gonna call it intrusive and comprehensive security standards I think out there. Some of it's outdated, but you don't have to guess. They say this is it. This is how you need to harden it. Go ahead, Gage.
Listen, I'm just looking at stuff. How do I don't even know how to get to to look at one. How do I look at one? Let's see. Tools and viewing. Oh, okay. The library. Listen, I'm about to delete my history, man. Listen, I'm getting PTSD. All right. I'm getting PTSD from doing these things. I don't even know how to pull up one. I don't even know how to pull them up anymore. How do I find them? Oh, I'm sorry. You on mute, Black Ops, Professor?
Go back one. I think you clicked on the compilation. You want to go to the individual ones.
Yikes! This is the first time and the last time I'm ever dealing with Stigs. Okay, so this says Stigs updates. I go to the left.
Scroll up a little bit. I'm looking to the left.
Sorry, is it too small?
I'm gonna make it bigger on my side. I'm old.
Here, I can zoom.
There it is, document library. I think it's document library 4.
Document library. Again, for those who don't know what Stigs are, hardening guides.
There they go. Scroll down, go to the left, click on something. When you download, it'll be a spreadsheet. Well, you need the Stig viewer, so you probably it's gonna be
listen. I think I got Stig viewer on this computer right here. This is like my old Asus ZenBook machine. I think I got Stig viewer on this one, but no, I'm
probably need a Stig viewer.
No, I'm not doing that. So Stig viewer allows you to literally open up the Stigs.
Yeah.
I think that are they in JSON format? Like, what's the format of them?
I think they're XML because I think when you
XML,
it's going to import them in XML, then you can export them in. Most people usually do spreadsheets,
right? So this Stig viewer, this is a piece of software that you download, and it allows you to view individual what you call Stig, right? These individual Stigs, and they have these different check marks, and it's for what's the levels? Is it low, medium, high?
Yep, Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, which is low, medium, high. I do them every day at work. So
right. So depending upon the system, you have to meet certain standards. So if you do all the lows or the mediums or the highs, that'll tell you what level of hardening you have to do on that system. And it covers Windows devices, Linux, Mac OS, even cloud. It looks like is up in here. So like I said, first and last time I'm ever even talking about Stigs. I'm not talking about Stigs ever again on this channel. This is a Stigless channel. So listen, here. Let's make that a banner. Let's throw that up there.
Stigless. Shout out to the schisms. I've done IRS. I've done CIS benchmarks. They just are hardening on different levels and different flavors.
We are Stigless over here, right? I ain't messing with Stigs.
I love the Stigs, but I was arguing with somebody from AWS about the Stigs. Like, dude, you can't say you in DOD unless you're doing Stigs, man. Got to.
Let me hit the chat again. Let me hit the chat. So I see. Let's see. John's talked about GSEC. GSEC is like the Security Plus. I say GSEC is a beefy Security Plus, right, John?
I say it's way beefier. Beefy. Yeah. Way beefier. Way beefier.
Kept did I do something to say he needs more view time too? Doesn't have that yet. Oh, you talking about the monetization? Yeah. I don't have all the watch time hours yet. If that's what you all are talking about,
you gotta do more lives, man. That's how you get to watch time. That's how I got mine. So.
Listen, guys, I'll be here more often. All right, I'm gonna get
watch time. You're doing it right.
Yeah.
Watch time.
Hello, Sarah Martinez. Welcome. We're just here chatting. It's kind of like open topic, so you can throw anything in the chat. If you got a question, a concern, a comment, feel free to join the chat. I know people in the chat are talking about several things. I think we're kind of on that certification tip right now. I just hit on STIGs, right? Security technical implementation guides. That's something that I used to do when I used to do government contracting. It's something that Professor Black Ops loves. It's in his heart. It's in his heart, and I can't stand them because they are very meticulous. Right? There's a lot of work involved.
And Gabe knows security is meticulous, man. We can't be guessing with security. That's why we getting kicked. That's why we getting beat up, man. We gotta be meticulous, man. We gotta
be very meticulous, very specific, because these bad guys are very meticulous and specific too.
And two is that's one place in cybersecurity with compliance. You can make a lot of money. You get government contracts. I've done STIGs. I've done schisms, which is the IRS part of that. You got Mercy, FISMA, FERPA. There's a lot of compliance out there. And basically, they all actually NIST 800-53. And how do those physical checks on your machine roll up to those security families? Right?
Listen, when you talk about jobs here, let me throw up here. I'm about to pull up USA Jobs. All right. Is that a good place to go, or you think somewhere is better?
That's an excellent place to go. Dice, Dice is old.
Dice.
Indeed, I move more to Indeed now, like the young people.
Gotcha. So USA Jobs, this website is a place, I pull it up here, where there are a lot of cybersecurity jobs for the exact work that Professor Blackstock is talking about. So I'm just gonna put in cybersecurity here. Let's see if any of those pop up. Let's just say a cybersecurity engineer. All right, so these are roles that, right, with the Department of Homeland Security headquarters, DHS headquarters, cybersecurity engineer, cybersecurity engineering project manager, and they even have the salaries here. So let's just jump into one of these roles. They tell about what the duties are, what you'll be responsible for, and I bet it'll be some STIGs or some SCAPs in this role, right? Wow. Because you're certifying government facilities and assets to make sure that they are hardened before deployment. So, like I said, and then even another brother was talking earlier about the clearances. It says must be able to obtain and maintain a top secret SCI security clearance. So a TSSCI. So that's one of the requirements. They got qualifications and everything, but this is a very good website. Yeah, go ahead, Professor Black Ops.
Yeah, the weird thing is I thought everybody knew this. You can have a friend of mine had top secret with polygraph. So they actually put the lie detector test on you, right?
Yeah.
So there's even in top secret, there's a couple different levels. I work with a lot of ex-Navy SEALs and Rangers because those guys get top secret clearance while they're in the military.
Right.
Sure, keep it techie. So when they come out, people just really give them IT jobs because sometimes they were the only one who could go in the Pentagon. I had a low level. I couldn't get it. So they go in there and they call out and we tell them what to do. But we can't even get in the building.
Because aren't those called skids? Like, isn't that the room or the place where they keep, like, is it called a skid? It's like a security something?
It's something like that.
It's some room or some environment that has computer systems that only certain people are able to access that have these clearances. So
and these you got to get special clearance in there to take your phone out. Some things you got to put your phone in a static proof bag and lock it up.
So some people don't listen. You don't have access to internet or social media at all. You can't watch us on YouTube at work if you're working in some of these places. Right. But yeah.
So you got to have a special clearance to take your phone in some of these rooms, like polygraph top secret. That's the only reason he gets to take his phone in there.
Yes, and then these are some certifications here, right? I think people were mentioning a brother. What's his name? Strapped Up 24. So he's going for the CISSP. Strapped Up 24. That is one of the requirements for a security engineer role. The DHS. I never heard of this one. The CSSP. That's one I heard of the CAS before. And of course, the best. People are against CompTIA, but these certifications can get you into these type of roles. And like I was saying before, it gave a salary range. I didn't see it. It was somewhere at the top, but let me go back.
At the bottom, but go ahead.
Well, it says starting at 94K or so, right? Starting at 94K for that role. So it's 94K and above. So you can hate on CompTIA, you can hate on those, but those certifications, that military background can get you into one of these cybersecurity roles with the Department of Homeland Security. So that's something pretty dope.
And most large, I'm in Indianapolis, which is the capital of Indiana. Most states have a local DHS, Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Because when you do evacuations for state, the state local DHS runs that and they report up to the federal level. Okay. So when Gary talks about incident response, I do incident response for a large state. And the Department of Homeland Security comes and checks us locally to make sure we're doing it right. They got templates for that. We got to roll over to DR, COOP. If our building get hit, where we going to go? So they want to make sure. So they want to make sure that you can do that, right?
Absolutely.
So Department of Homeland, they usually have a local state branch where you can work for that too.
Okay. Dope. So they're everywhere. So you don't just have to be in DC. You can be in your local state working for DHS. Okay, cool. So okay, Kamar Brown. I'm gonna hit these comments and then I might have to get up out of here because it's starting to get late. I know it's my bedtime. Definitely my bedtime.
Close for mine. I'm gonna be dozing off. Old people be
Okay.
waking up in the middle of the night. Go ahead.
Really?
Hold on real quick. I just like that they have a time requirement to take the test. You
Yeah.
talking about when they're taking the test?
Yeah. So I think that you have to work
Yep.
or have to have a certain
Oh,
amount
5
of
years.
experience. Yeah, 5 years experience.
You could take it and get
Go
an
ahead.
associate, but I would wait for you to get your full 5 years. I wouldn't.
Right.
If
So
you don't
you
have
can
your
have
full
that
5
5 years in multiple areas. Like it doesn't just have
Facts.
to be in cybersecurity. So we can be just like Kev Tech, right? Shout out to Kev Tech. It can be in some help desk
Facts.
capacity. You can have it count for, say, for instance, you do some cybersecurity volunteer or some tech volunteer work for your church or local library. That all can be counted towards that time requirement to get the CISSP.
And like you said, even if you're on a help desk, they do security. DOD's where the money's at, man.
Yeah.
I ate well on DOD, man. I was a consultant though. I was consulting at DOD, so
Strapped Up 24 says yes, the CISSP is super challenging, and their testing format is pretty challenging as well. Yeah, it's like it learns as you're testing.
Yeah.
So it's not just because what was it, like 500 questions?
Oh, I took it 15 years ago when it was Scantron. They didn't change it now.
Oh, wow.
I took it when it was you actually drive somewhere like you taking the SAT with the bubble sheets. And you wouldn't get your
bubble sheets
for like 6 weeks. See, I'm old, man. That's what I took.
Bubble sheets.
Oh, man. I see you be highlighting the bubbles.
Yeah. The bubbles. Shout out to elementary school for me.
Yeah, that's how old I am when I took it, man.
So I remember when it was, I think it was like 800 or 1,000, maybe 1,000 questions, maybe something like that.
It was crazy. Okay. I took it.
Yeah, adaptive testing is what it is.
So yeah. So a lot of people think it's easier now than when I took it, but so
Kev, yes, I'm getting PTSD. Kev, I'm getting flashbacks from when I was just typing and low, medium, high. Man,
that's what you need to know. He doing assessment, so after his assessment, you're gonna know where you at as a company.
Right.
This National Institute of Standards and Technology, I believe.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it earlier.
I
like
did.
The DoD.
This 800-53. If you look up CMMC, it's actually based on this. They're actually going to take up. They're actually going to take over it. But yeah, it's the federal standards for security. The NIST though is actually at 10,000 feet. You talk about security families, incident response, all of that. And then those STIG checks actually rolls up into the security families of NIST. But if I talk about that, we're going to be here all night. Go ahead.
Listen, I do a lot of NIST too, because NIST 800 what is it, 82? It's for industrial control systems.
Oh,
yeah. So that's
but a lot of people doing commercials 171, I think. And that's
I think 171 is. I thought 171 was something else.
CUI, but I think it's for commercials because they don't want to do the whole federal. I had to look that up, but there's a ton of special publications really for anything you want to do. So anything I usually start with, especially for federal clients, I'm actually going to look up that certain list. 37 is actually risk management.
37,
it's risk. 53 is the actually security families at a high level that rolls up into.
They got talk about that, like demystifying the NIST framework for DoD or something.
I got a couple. Check me out. I got a compliance playlist. But I do talk about that.
Let me find
because I want to go through all the compliance. I think I got to do Marzies. I think I've done everything but Marzies. I've done FERPA. I've done them all.
And you said you have a playlist?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find that playlist. I see that Zero Trust, DoD technical input. Oh my gosh, you got a STIG playlist. No.
Facts, man.
All right, I'm about to get rid of your website.
Facts, man. Is that about that life, man? I want everybody to eat.
Okay, I see your government compliance one.
So I got HIPAA, FERPA, all of that in there. So.
Listen, hey, everybody, if you are interested in this government DoD compliance game, I am putting Professor Black Ops. So I'm going to put DoD compliance playlist. I'm going to throw that in the chat.
I appreciate that. But
absolutely, man. I'm throwing it in the chat a couple of times.
It's weird. I do a lot of IRS work, and one guy goes, I've never seen the IRS checks. I go, I'm a little different.
Yeah.
I got the schisms, man. IRS Pub. Well, IRS Pub 1075 is the IRS kind of sticks that they use for IRS systems. So I think I got everything in there except Marzi. That's the last one on my list.
Listen, if you guys want more information on that DoD compliance work with NIST and the NISTers and compliance, it is there within the chat. And that's Professor Black Ops, the gentleman that you are viewing right here, right now. That is his playlist. And Sarah says, I'm here as a fly on the wall, because I'm not even on that. What levels? Listen, we are here on the tech level, right? The struggle. This is struggle security, all right? We are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity, right? So there are no levels. This is everybody here. We just chilling. We just talking. We're talking about cybersecurity, tech, government compliance, certifications, anything. So you said you're going for that A+. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, sir, we gonna, like he said, we welcome you. Me and Gabe at the level, but we started somewhere. We just didn't wake up talking this thing. So we won't welcome all people. And like you said, everybody's gonna struggle. We're here to help you with your struggle so you can get a little higher, sir. So don't be nervous. Come on. I ain't going nowhere. So
yeah.
Welcome to the chat.
Strapped up 24 says, what are you guys' thoughts on Cyber Reason XDR versus Cortez XDR? I don't have any exposure to those technologies. I'm familiar with Cyber Reason, but I would have to do some research on that one. What are your thoughts about it? Yeah, feel free to throw down in the chat what I'm saying for Strapped Up, because I don't know. And so, yeah, feel free to throw it in the chat if you have any thoughts about it. And maybe we got some discussion on it.
Yeah, I do more compliance. I review SDR as an endpoint protection, but those particular two vendors I'm not familiar with.
Man, I might see. Listen, I see that there are people in the chat who are going for A+. I see Earl Owens is going for A+. Sarah Martinez is going. I might need to do a video on A+, the A+ implications of cybersecurity, the cybersecurity implications of A+, or how it can lead to that. Right,
yeah,
so I might do something on
and
that.
Go check out our boy Tech G. He got a playlist for you to get free for A+. So check him out. He's got free classes on there. So go check my man out on there. Absolutely. Then, like you said, you come back and me and Gabe can chop it up. But he's got some free classes for A+ on there. So I want to give my man shout out.
Yep. And then John says again, sometimes the job postings for defense contractors are more clear. Government postings can be cryptic sometimes. Okay. Yeah, because we were kind of going through that USA Jobs right, and we weren't seeing everything that's very specific. So so going directly to the defense contractors might be a better option.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that actually is the better. But the other part of that is, and most people know this, is the government has to post jobs even if they're already filled. I was at DoD contract. They had a job for me. They post them cryptically. That means somebody's already slated for that job.
Yeah,
they post it cryptically, so it's going to be hard for you to apply for it, right? So sometimes that's by design.
Yep. And then we got Sneaker Junkie. What's good, Sneaker Junkie? Says salute to the panel and chat. I'm just here to learn and soak up game. Feel free, be a fly on the wall or just jump in, throw something in the comment section. Anything. If you got any questions too, throw it in the chat, man. Absolutely.
We here.
Oh yeah, Kev Tech. That's another one. Professor Messer, he has an A+ course. So this is some refill sources for the people who are doing A+ or studying for A+. That's some videos right here on YouTube, or he even has his own website, right, where he talks about CompTIA A+ if you're preparing for that.
I was forgetting about Professor Messer.
Yeah, because he's just like old school, right? He's been before I even knew about like anything cybersecurity, I knew about Professor Messer.
I know
for sure.
So Maddox, one of my day ones. Shout out to him.
Welcome.
Yeah, he always took care of me when I first started, man. I still be struggle streaming, but
listen. Okay. Yeah, they got the term right. So EA Fletch and John says skiff. Skiff is the name of it. I said skid. I said skid. So it's definitely a skiff. That's that government, I guess, room or area where you can't bring in a lot of outside stuff like your phone.
I've only been in one in my whole career.
Really?
I was we was out in Virginia somewhere. I can't remember. It's probably 15 years ago. Somebody took me into a room. And my clearance wasn't high enough. They had to escort me in.
Yeah. You got to be escorted. That same thing Kibiseki said. He said it's the skiff. You have to leave your phone in a locked box outside. Right. Sheesh.
I seen the one guy take his phone. Like I said, he had the polygraph high. That's the only reason he got to take his in there.
And there's no internet either, right? Like you don't have access to like outside like a Gmail or something.
Well, we switched. They do have access to the internet, but it's weird. You have to specially cut it on because you got to download software patches somehow. So that's kind of debate. So I was okay. When you do that, that's when the virus is gonna come in. So we always used to debate that.
Jeez. Okay. And Sarah, you said I'm just not a hardcore book learner when it comes to computer related stuff. I've always been hands-on. That's the best way to be, right? Hands-on, practical. I actually did a video on that about like not memorizing tech facts, but rather one thing that you can do is start to lab, right? Shout out to DeWine, right? DeWine Lightfoot is labbing every day. I know even now I'm kind of getting ready to do some type of incident response activities. So I'm starting to go through different tools. And one place that I think is super duper cool for a place to kind of get kind of up on different tools is Try Hack Me. So a lot of times people think Try Hack Me is just a website for like penetration testing learning, but it actually has a lot of blue team stuff in there too. So let me just show you this real quick because I haven't used Redline. So Redline is a forensics tool, and it allows you to collect images and do just kind of very quick static analysis on different file systems, things that you might think are compromised. So I'm actually going through it right now on, let me find that. Where is Redline? So let me find, oh, okay, try Hack Me. So again, like I said, Try Hack Me is a website that a lot of times people just think is about hacking, and they have these rooms, but actually you can go over some blue team concepts or some defensive concepts. So I'm going through the one line one right now, or the red line one right now, and it tells you in very much so detail about what the tool is, how to use it. And you can even start up your own machine where you can try out the tool on the website, and I think that that's super cool. But you can even go over other things too. Here, let me go ahead and search for, I think you can even go like they have a Splunk room too. Yeah, they have like Splunk 101, Splunk 2, Conti is another tool, which is pretty dope. Incident handling with Splunk and Splunk 3. So it kind of goes over different levels of different tools. I know another one for forensics is volatility. Volatility. I don't know if that's in here. No, volatility, unless I spelled it wrong. I did spell it wrong. I sure did spell it wrong. So volatility is a tool for memory forensics, right? So they have a whole room for that. And again, like you can spin up a machine, be able to try out the tool. Like you don't even have to download it, right? So it teaches you and goes step by step. Kind of goes over, like FTK Imager is another one. Redline was the one I was telling you about earlier. Dumpit.exe. These are really tools to help you evaluate computer systems, to tell you if there's something bad there. It goes over files, it goes over network information, it goes over memory. So it's pretty cool. So I'm using that, right? You talk about being hands-on and labbing. I think Try Hack Me is a great place to do that, not only for penetration testing or offensive stuff, but also for defensive stuff and like defense, what is it called? Digital forensics and incident response stuff too. So
the one thing is, I just did a video on that, and I did the part where you go before you get there. I did it on AWS, and I said, okay, if somebody sees something and you're on AWS, how do you quarantine a Linux VM, right? Make a snapshot copy of it, and I need to get it ready for you to come in and do your thing, right? But I need to get it off the network and make sure it's not going to spread in my network. So how do I set up? And on there, I show you how to set up a different region, a different VPC, where I have it quarantined with a snapshot, and I have the original, and I got a snapshot for you to work on, because I wanted you to work on the original, right? You usually work on a copy. So how does the AWS architect, right, get that ready for when you come in? Number one is, I don't want you to do that because you charge $300 an hour. I want to have that already set up in my infrastructure, quarantine snapshot done, so you ready to come in and do your analysis.
Awesome.
Right? So from that's, I just looked on I put on a NIST 161. If you Google that, that's the incident response for NIST. Right?
Okay.
So I did.
So was that like a module? Like, where do you learn how to do that? Is it like through the training, like the AWS training, or is it?
Yeah. When I got the certification, I got some for the certification, and I looked it up. Okay, how do you quarantine that? Because everything's on AWS, so they say, okay, from a forensics specimen, how do I get it ready for you to do forensics, right? Okay. So they tell you how to quarantine. And they want you to use CloudFormation, because I should be able to just run some scripts, point it to an instance, and it sets it up, quarantine, takes a snapshot. Two is, I'm not trying to, like you said, I'm not trying to use the memory, because some of that stuff's volatile. Yeah. So I need to export the memory out on disk for you to ready, because if not, it's going to time itself out. So I need those steps ready, so when he's come, I haven't lost anything for you to do your analysis, right?
Absolutely. And that's extremely important to really understand if there's a bad thing currently, like if it's still happening, being able to acquire that memory or get information off that potentially compromised system, so that people can go deeper into it.
Right. So you got to do memory, registers. There's a lot of things that are volatile that I need to be able to save or be able to export into a flat file so you can use that as part of your analysis.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Right.
So that's when you're using like Redline, you're using your
Right.
volatility, you're using Remux as a
you
whole operating
doing
system.
that. I'm getting it ready for you to do that,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
So,
absolutely.
right.
And that's super important. Yeah.
Right. So I want people to know there's always two sides. There's the forensics part, but they're blue team because a lot of times we can't afford the expertise Gabe has.
Yeah.
So when we think something funny, I'm not going to do the forensics of it. We're going to bring in somebody like Mandy at Price Waterhouse, Booz Allen has that. We don't have those capabilities, but my job is to get it ready. Number one is I want to set that information. Number two is Gabe charges by the hour. So I want to make sure all this stuff is ready.
Retainer hours.
Tools. Yeah.
Yes.
And when you start getting practice managers involved, it gets really expensive. So number one. So as an architect, we need to understand that to have it set up so Gabe can do his part, right? So there's two parts of that.
And it's dope. I want to get to all of the comments. I'm skipping a couple because I think we're super far behind. It says before the live goes down, let us see the guest YouTube links. I'll try to put them all in the description section. I'm trying to put them all in the description section, whether it's Kev Tech, whether it's Professor Black Ops and Keep It Techie, or John, or Textual Shatter. Everybody, I'm just gonna throw everybody links in this. Actually, I probably need to put it on my channel section, right? On the YouTube
that's what
channel.
I got it in mind. Yeah,
I'll have it. I'm gonna put it in the link description, but I'm also gonna put them all in the channel section for everybody to be able to get to.
Yeah, because it's got people you recommend in there.
Because this is exactly what we want, right? We want people like Kamar Brown to subscribe to our brother Cybersecurity for the people, Professor Black Ops. So thank you for the sub. Thank you for subbing to him. Let's see, facts. We're all trying to learn still. I'm learning 5 years. Yes, strapped up 24. Yeah. The name is just hilarious. But yeah, man, I'm
5 years in. I'm 30 years in, and I'm still learning strapped up. So it's all relative. Two is. That's the good part and the bad part about it. You got to keep learning so you can stay up with the time. So if you get on a hot thing like cloud, machine learning, artificial intelligence, well, red team, blue team, you can make 100. But if you don't stay up, you can lose 100 too. So you got to keep current. So I'm 50, still getting certain. So but that's part of the game.
Yeah, that's true. The real one. Most of us understand the basic terminology out of college and strapped up. Yeah, you kind of went into some conversation about that. So we use Cortex XDR in our school system, which is very good, has a lot of valuable tools, but I really like the cyber reason, especially with the tools relating to containing ransomware. Okay, so it helps out with some ransomware containment. Dope. Sarah, it's a newbie in IT. Hardest part is finding straight starting point. Yeah, yes, it's very true. Depends on your interest and competency. What's that, Black Ops?
Yeah, but what was he saying? Yeah, but there's so many ways to contain ransomware, and there's the government, and Biden signed off on zero trust. But what does that really mean when you say zero trust in cybersecurity? That's about 40 tools, right? But that's things you got to start digging in, and so you can start understanding at a high level. When people say zero trust, what does that mean technology-wise?
Absolutely.
What things are you using to get to zero trust, right? Because now every product says zero trust, right?
I'm telling you, like zero trust, EDR, visibility, right? These
observability,
observability. These all are like buzzwords within cybersecurity now. So it's very, and that's another thing, right? It's interesting to know about things, but not to get, I guess, lost in the buzzwords, because there are a lot of sales engineers out there who are trying to sell these solutions, these products that are not really tailored to many environments. They just want to sell them because they have a word in it, AI and automation and machine learning. Yeah, it don't always work like that. And
the key thing when I'm labbing, because I've been doing this every day, and I do this on my channel, is when I do zero trust, I want to do it for a small company, a medium company, and what I would do for a big federal compliance company that's got $2 million, right? Because each one of those is going to be zero trust, but how much money you got, what expertise you got, each one of those can be zero trust set up for different size companies.
Absolutely. Yes. Because I think those smaller architectures, it makes it much easier to kind of implement some of those tools without disrupting so many different things. So yeah, man.
The weird thing is people think I'm weird. I'm like, okay, to stop east and west traffic, you can cut up on shout out Keep It Tech. You can do IP tables, which is a built-in firewall in Linux.
Yeah.
You don't need anything, it's free. You just got to set it up, right? But when you're small and you got 10 VMs, you can do that. when you got 400 VMs, that's not going to work. Set up
Right.
you got to have a way. So So what I would do for a small client, I might set up IP tables to stop east and west traffic. It's built in because they only got 10 VMs. So it's not a management nightmare.
It's so funny because I like just Google randomly ZTA, right? Zero Trust Architecture. There's like 50 different architecture pictures. Like there's so much ambiguity in what this really looks like. Like I'm seeing one for the cloud. There's one. Anyway,
NIST 800-207 is ZTA.
I'm running away from that one.
Then they got each vendor they had a page for like 20 vendors in the NIST publication. I think it was 207. Jeez. I did a video of that. That's the reason.
Like how do you like? And that's the reason why consultants are so important, because we try to come in, we try to boil a lot of that down and tailor it to customer environments to say, okay, we understand this is probably difficult for you. We want to help you to not have to struggle into ZTA or struggle into implementing zero trust architecture in your environment. But you know, that makes us study a whole bunch. So
but you know, I know you're right. The thing that a large company helps you is, depending on your architecture, they will have different consultants, right? If you're a Cisco shop, you can do it this way. If you're a VMware shop, you're doing it this way. If you're a small shop, we can set up IP tables. So they got different talent that they can bring in there. You need to ask to bring in and help you with your current architecture, because CTA is really a framework, right? It's really not a technology. It's a framework.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And two, it's beginning. If you look at Microsoft, they got beginning, advanced, and optimal. And the optimal, they got, like you said, artificial intelligence policy engine. Ain't nobody running that yet, right? So, but what's the different levels and how do you grow into that, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, right? It's because they're bringing all these requirements. I think it's part of the White House, one of the White House executive orders,
and
for organizations to implement zero trust architectures.
I'm interrupting. I've never seen a White House top technology. That's the first thing, because usually they're like, we need you to be safer and you get to pick. But go ahead. They named it. I've never seen a White House name a technology named it.
That's wild. That's wild. So like all the organizations are now buzzing and trying to get to what that looks like in their environment, because they're like, we need to be White House EO compliant. So
So what does that mean?
So Aloni's going for CompTIA Plus.
Let's get it.
I see Sarah, you say your background is in avionics and mechanic and electrical. So that's wild, because my background is electrical engineering. So I didn't start off in cybersecurity or tech at all. So there was a struggle in kind of getting a lot of this information. So
I started off as a programmer. So
you started off in like computer science, right?
Yeah, I'm computer science. I just started off as a junior. Yeah. In the old days, you had to start off as a junior programmer and work your way up.
Okay. Jason Dion, I haven't heard of him. You see Strapped Up said Jason Dion is good for CYSA. Okay, check him out.
What's her name? Oh my God, I gotta think of her name. She took the CYSA and passed.
Yeah, even Kev.
Person Center Cyber. She's got the CYSA, I think.
Got it. Even Kev is on try hacking. See, they going. Listen, try hacking is not just for hacking. Right. They might need to rebrand themselves, because they're literally on everything. So it's not just offensive cybersecurity. I think it started off that way, but
I think that's what happened.
It definitely has a lot of modules that help you get ramped up really quickly on concepts and tools that you might have forgot or you might be brand new to. So look out for Try Hack Me.
And that's one thing I do, is take what I learned and try to take it up to AWS, and that's why I came up with that. Getting ready for the forensic standpoint, have a forensic OU. So when they come in, they have their login, their credentials. Once again, I got their memory exported out. So I need to look up how would I do that in AWS, right? They got their own tools to set it up, export it out to disk, get it ready. And from the cybersecurity, how do you get it off the net to make sure it doesn't affect other things in its own private subnet? So I thought that was for me, an interesting, while I was learning to set that up.
And then Sarah, thank you for coming through. Yeah, I want to do these way more often, because towards the evening, right, you just want to kind of kick back and just have conversation, not be super duper formal. Because I work remotely, so this is where I work also. So it's nice to get on here to kind of talk to people and kind of have discussions about things that I'm interested in. So feel free to come back. I'll be live. the best way to know when I'm live is to subscribe, to hit the notification bell. And everybody who's here, if you haven't subscribed, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel so you can get more and more of this type of content. So for sure.
And I'm old and I like to come up. So I come up because me and Gabe, we kind of on separate ends. I'm more blue. I always consider you more red, but you're a little everything.
Man, I'm a little of it all. We're actually like growing our so I'm working on developing a service for incident response within the operational technology or ICS and OT. So yeah, we kind of doing it all, man.
I got to everybody. Billable hours you try to build. Trying to see in there.
What's good,
both.
What's up?
Hey,
sorry.
Good,
yeah, sorry, man.
Good, man.
I was waiting on some food and all this stuff or whatever. Because I wanted to come on earlier. Yeah, that too.
And I got one on the way, so I'm about to be in the same category. Yeah,
that's crazy. My kid's grown, man. I got one kid grown, man. Y'all mess around with the little kid.
How grown?
I had my kid early. My kid 34 with 6 kids, man. I'm a grand guy, man. I'm trying to get him to cybersecurity. They said that ain't cool, and I'm like, money's cool. You go get me cool.
That'll come through. Okay, that's what's up.
My kid 34, man. That's how old I am.
Yeah, man. Keep it taking. I was winding down, man. Dang.
Yeah, I know. Hey, and that's what I was gonna say to you, bro. Yeah. I mean, I'm just coming up to really speaking. I wish I could have came up earlier. You know,
no, it's all good. Life.
And, yeah.
I think I got a message from you on Facebook. I got to check that, man. So I'm gonna definitely check it coming up soon because I ain't been on nothing.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'm looking at well, maybe that's something I can tell you about. I'm looking for a position at your company.
Really? That's what I'm saying, man.
So
I know you ain't hit me up.
Yeah. So that's kind of what it's about, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm only bringing it up, in public because I mean that's what people need to do. Brothers need to do. You need to find people that work in this industry wherever you're trying to go, where and just reach out for help. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? A lot of these corporate organizations, they have something called an internal referral program. So, a lot of times when people apply for jobs, they just go to the career website and they just apply, right? They create a profile, upload their resume and apply. But the best way and the quickest way to bypass the filter, right? The algorithm filter for resumes is to get the internal referral program because that puts you higher on the list to be viewed by hiring managers. So, man, that's how you do it. Just a little bit of game right there, but for sure.
Yeah, and exactly.
Definitely, man. I'm gonna refer you. Absolutely, no question.
I just did that at Salesforce. A good friend of mine is regional director. The only thing is he had me set up for interview, like Gabe said. He was getting me set up, and he texts me, goes, man, we just hired 30,000 people. We just put out a hiring freeze. I go, come on, man. So they just put out a hiring freeze for me. And I'm like, man, what's going on? But that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah, but that internal referral program, we'll talk more, man. We'll absolutely talk more. So, I'm just hitting some more of these comments, and then I'm probably about to go to sleep. CCNA, I got the CCNA, but I hear Network Plus is just as good. Just having a foundational networking concept and understanding is good for so many different tech fields.
Yeah, and to do compliance, I'm not breaking out an insider, but if you don't understand the basic of networking starts with controlling your network traffic and your packets, and are you in the private subnet and the public subnet? So that's the basic of networking. So you got to understand that. Now I can't go out and configure a Cisco router or nothing. Shout out to Network Bruh. He one of my homies. I'm not doing that. Dwayne Lightfoot. I'm not doing that. But I understand the basic. I know the OSI model. I understand what a subnet is. I understand what a VLAN is. And the first part of this is controlling your traffic on your network.
And I need to understand where Keep It Techie's SQL databases are, right? Because I need to understand if that TCP port, what is it? I just Googled 1433 is open. So I can try to get to the back end. I can try to get to the back end of his SQL database. So I can get some credentials, right?
But if you got
on the offensive side,
but if you PBO, that port is only open up to the app server. So when Gabe try to hit it, I'm gonna get an alarm that somebody's in my network trying to do something they're not supposed to do. Now,
listen, I'm gonna hit the app server. What you mean? I'm gonna hit the app server. That's what I'm going for.
But
the app server already has privileges to that device. So
but a lot of because you're a veteran, and a lot of young guys try to go straight to the port without going through the app server because they think they're gonna get it to it from somewhere else on the network.
I don't know if you listen. If you're an admin and you have a personal computer or you sign into some other machine, you leave your credentials on that machine. So if I'm able to hack even a machine that you got into, and I'm able to get your creds, man, I'm in that app server like it's nothing.
And are you talking about Pass the Hash that been out for 20
maybe years? Pass the Hash, or just looking at your credentials, because a lot of times, so when IT administrators, when they sign into or administer service to a different machine, they a lot of times leave their credentials in the form of like the services that they access. So there's different ways to try to get that. You know, you could do Kerber roasted and all types of stuff. I don't want to go deep into it, but
I actually got an argument.
I'm gonna find you.
I got an argument with a guy from Microsoft. I'm like, dude, Pass the Hash been around for 20 years.
Yeah, man.
What are y'all doing, Microsoft?
Pass the Hash, Golden Ticket, all of those.
So we try to do that for all of our privileged users, like Keep It Techie. We make them MFA into the box. So even if you're going in, you got an MFA to get to that subnet to get in. So
I'll tell you one way I bypassed MFA before. Somebody had the multi-factor, like the RSA multi-factor authentication agent on their desktop of their machine. So I was able to hack the machine, and then I'm able to gain access. Like I think I got RDP access into the machine. So I'm like, dang, I can't like authenticate into this server. And then I'm like, what's this? It's like a RSA, like it's like the RSA multi-factor authentication token right there running on their desktop, because I guess it's convenient. So they just click on the thing, get the little code multi-factor. So I'm like, easy, but
I'd have fired him on the spot. I'd have fired him on the spot. But yeah, so
they didn't combine. Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
so getting over credentials.
Oh no, it's all good. I think it was just credentials plus that token. Yep.
That's why.
Okay, because I know they combine them. Oh my bad.
Do. I try to force them to use the MFA on their phone instead of using those hardware tokens that you can leave and combine. I always make them call your phone, man.
So well, I know most of the people most of the ones I didn't ran into, at least on the government side, they'll have you'll have your own PIN, as well as the code. You know what I'm saying? So you would have to find out what that PIN is along with the code together. So
this was more of like an antiquated environment. So like I was mentioning earlier in the stream, it was a industrial environment. So they just had just the code.
Just the code,
Yeah, so it was username, password, which I already had, and then the code, and then I was in that thing.
The thing I couldn't get at my government agency is because the state is DOD got PKI cards. So you got to put your PKI PIN with your card.
Yeah. So that's government.
Yeah. So I try to get the large state agency. They was like, dude, that's gonna be $10 million. We ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So
well, listen, man, I gotta shut down, fellas, because it is my bedtime. But I very much so appreciate you guys for coming up. Thank you so much. I'm gonna put everybody's links like in my channel section and also within the description of this live stream. Thank you all for coming through and making it what it is. I'm sorry I can't hit the last of the questions, but hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's good? Hello and goodbye at the same time. Thank you for coming through to Struggle Security. We did a live stream here where we're normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. And these are my brothers here. These are the tech OGs here on YouTube. And I'm going to have all their information in the description section. Thank you for coming through, and come back again for some videos or live streams. And subscribe. All right, I'm going to end it. And y'all can stay here.
Okay.